Welcome back to America Decides. A federal judge is considering what consequences, if any, the Trump administration will face after hearing arguments today over whether these officials defied a court order issued last month. You might remember the judge ruled that any planes carrying migrants deported under the authority of the 1798 Alien Enemies Act must be returned to the United States, not for release, but just for their processing under due process rights. In spite of this, the Trump administration opted not to turn the flights around, and they were carrying hundreds of alleged Venezuelan gang members to El Salvador. Scott MacFarlane was in the courtroom, joins me now. What happened?
Yeah, Judge James Boasberg, the chief judge here in Washington, one who has been criticized vitriolically by President Trump, wanted to get some answers. Why weren't those flights turned around as ordered on March 15th? This is so much bigger now than just those Venezuelan nationals. This is now a matter of, are my orders being listened to by the executive branch? Because if not, we got a much bigger problem than just deportations. He didn't like the answers he got today, didn't think they were declarative or clear enough. So he said in so many words, we could be talking about contempt of court in the coming days over somebody or some people inside the administration who haven't told me why those planes didn't turn around. What answers was he given today? Largely, the Department of Justice attorney was saying some of this falls under attorney-client privilege and that he can't answer as to what the administration was saying. But the judge didn't accept that. He wants to know whose name is on this decision to disregard an order of the court on a flight March 15th.
Now, if I recall, Scott, correct me if I'm wrong, earlier when there were legal jousting about this, the administration said, well, it was a verbal order, and a verbal order didn't have the weight of a written order. And by the time the written order was, the planes were practically in El Salvador, so it was not relevant to us. Did that come up? Is that still a thing?
That was not an argument that was articulated in court today. It was made in filings previous. Didn't fly. That's why they had to have a hearing today. He wants some better information.
Right.
I mean, the order of the court is when the judge gives the order, it takes effect. The written version sometimes takes a long time to populate, so we don't wait just for.
And it's not a common understanding that verbal orders don't matter, only the written ones.
That's right.
So we've moved beyond that.
That's not the issue now. Okay. The issue now.
And when you say the phrase contempt, what does that mean? It sounds heavy.
Well, it can be. I mean, a contempt of court can metastasize into some type of criminal case. It can metastasize into some type of disciplinary case in the court. They'll be putting the cart in front of the horse now because the people who signed their names to these court filings are the Attorney General herself, Pam Bondi, her chief of staff, her deputy, her number 3. These are the top rung officials at the Department of Justice. Seems very provocative to have a contempt finding against them. So we'll see what the judge orders. That order won't come till next week. But there's a fundamental issue here. Outside of the arguments today, the judge actually wanted to know, did you understand me when I was speaking these orders? Did you understand what I meant? And one of the most illustrative lines of questioning, Major, the judge said, did you understand me to say you had to release these people from jail? Did you understand me to say that you can't still deport them through the normal proceedings? And the Department of Justice attorney said, no, we didn't understand that. The judge counterpunched, Major. Well, those who are saying so are mistaken. Clearly, that's been part of the political rhetoric ever since.
So what's happening in the courtroom adheres to a set of facts, even if they're uncomfortable for the administration, that is not being reflected in the political rhetoric being thrown around this entire conversation.
Where have we seen that before? It feels like the 2020 election legal arguments, doesn't it?
Right.
That there's a political argument being made, but when you get called before a judge, you say something a little softer or a little more elegant, not quite what you're saying politically.
And what are at least nominally defensible facts in court, which is where they should be heard and adjudicated. As always, Scott MacFarlane, thank you very much.
Thank you.